Good day, global citizens. Welcome to another episode of Dr. Fajembola's Opinion. This is a platform where research meets understanding and legacy. Today, I'm happy to bring you a well-learned senior colleague to take us through a topic which is the first time we'll be taking on this platform, Toxoplasma Gondii. Actually, the last time I went through Toxoplasma Gondii was when I was in medical school, and when I had a cat. When I read a cat, someone gave me a gift of a cat. So I was like, okay, let's use some of our medical knowledge on this. So thank you so much, sir, for joining us on this platform. Please join me to welcome Dr. Muhammad Nasiruwana.
Plasma is one of the topics, and it's also one of the neglected tropical diseases. It is an infection that is generally called toxoplasmosis. Uh, that's the name of the disease, and the parasite who causes that particular disease is the one that is called Toxoplasma gondii. So the word Gondii comes from some wild name of some wild animals where that parasite was first discovered, and that's how the people named that particular infection. We were examining those relationships. What altered the sequence that makes even the rat to come even close to the cat, and that's the beginning of it. And we look at the Toxoplasma gondii in that particular angle, and we were able to look at the abundance because when you heard of Malaysia, you heard of a country where food is not a problem. Uh, Not even to humans, but even to animals, food is not a problem because food is one of the common things in Malaysia. So there are abundant number of animals. There are stray cats. There are also domestic ones, and there are available of cats in Malaysia that roams about the streets, in the houses, and everywhere you go, you see available number of cats. So that's what prompted us to be able to investigate this particular scenario. And it is only in Malaysia where you can be able to see shops around the street who are selling foods for cats only. And that's tell you that the nature that people had in the close contact they have with cats. So looking at the life cycle of Toxoplasma gondii, it is an infection where the eggs, or we call it the oocysts, are being excreted together with the cat faces to the outside environment. So, and that's why cat becomes the definitive word because the union of this particular male and female gametes of this Toxoplasma gondii occurred only in felines, of which cat is one of the principal actors. And when they pass out their faces, they pass out together with what we call oocysts. But at that time, we call it unsporulated oocysts because it didn't become so infective at that particular stage. And after 1 to 5 days, it becomes sporulated and then it becomes infective. And as you know, when the feces get to the outside environment together with the eggs, somehow the feces got disintegrated. And when it got disintegrated in the outside environment, it finds its way to either vegetables or to either some food substances, and sometimes it even get lodged along the nails of the fingers, and that's why if someone ingested contaminated substances together with these eggs, and then he or she becomes infected, and that's why I said at the beginning all mammals are the intermediate host, including humans. So that's to tell you that that sporulated oocyst becomes effective, and the moment is ingested in the body into the body of mammals, then it quickly hatches in the body of mammals. And when it hatches, it releases another stage which is called tachyzoids. And those tachyzoids multiply quickly in number, and they generally follow the blood circulation. They goes into the lungs, into the liver, into the heart, and they finally settle in some organs, of which brain is one of the common area where this tachyzoid gets settled, and the tachyzoid quickly changes into the chronic form, which is called the brachyzoid. And when it changes into the brachyzoid, it now forms a cyst. So the cyst there that is also formed, if it is not in humans, if it is in other mammals like bats, if it is in other mammals, it gets into the tissue, it forms a cyst, and when someone consumes that particular meat that has that particular cyst, he or she can also become infected. And by extension, by saying that the tachyzoid goes into the brain, it settles into the brain and it affects some signals that are being there in the brain, and that's what causes the alteration to the olfactory lobe, to the alteration of some signals that control the brain of all mammals. So actually, this is what happened with the situation, and nature makes it possible for the parasite to continue to maintain its life cycle, and that's why rats have been there as a natural intermediate host. Because to maintain the life cycle of the Toxoplasma gondii, rat has to be there. And the parasites also try to block those signals so that the rat cannot notice the cat, and the cat have access to the rat. When it is eaten, then the life cycle continues in that particular direction. And that's how it maintains its own life cycle there. But humans and all other mammals are serving as accidental hosts. And that's what makes it so complicated when humans join the cycle of that Toxoplasma gondii.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Wana. You give an elaborate answer to the question. At the beginning, we mentioned how toxoplasmosis affects the brain, and in one of the tweets, we talked about schizophrenia. What role does toxoplasmosis play in schizophrenia?